Today we're taking a look at the differences between F1 and GT3 racing lines at Paul Ricard. We'll explain why F1 takes such round and wide racing lines, why these are slower in other cars, and what technique you should use instead. Paul Ricard, with its long sweeping curves, is a totally different circuit for an F1 driver compared to GT3 drivers. How you handle those sweeping corners is completely different in a lightweight aerodynamic formula car than how you would in a bulkier GT3 car. So if you find that you've been tremendously slow at Paul Ricard, you might just have been following the wrong racing lines. Let us first compare some fast racing lines of both F1 and GT3 cars. We'll compare them side by side so we can easily spot the differences and talk about why these different approaches are chosen in their individual sections. The first noticeable difference is in turn 12, where early on the GT3 car sticks way closer to the inside and slows down more to get through the corner. The F1 car stays on the outside and sweeps past the apex while only having to slow down a little bit. Both cars stay on the right side of the track during turn 13 to get the best possible entry into the next corner. Now turn 14 is where things get really interesting. The GT3 approach to this corner is almost as if it has two apexes, going to the inside, then wider again, and then pulling back to the inside to set up for the next corner. Now the F1 car approaches turn 14 a little bit differently. After the braking zone, the car can just keep steering for the inside of the corner and it sticks, pulling ever closer to that inside curb. Now let's find out why these cars have such different approaches to the same couple of corners. Now let's zoom in on those courageous curves of Paul Ricard, starting with turn 12 in our F1 car. Coming up to the corner, you want to aim for a late apex so that you're as straight as possible into turn 13. Sticking to the right throughout this whole corner and braking just a tad early, right as we steer into turn 14. We can keep the car steady on the inside of this whole corner, letting it coast or maybe giving a little bit of throttle to keep it moving quickly until we come up to turn 15. And you might be thinking, what's so special about this racing line? F1 cars are able to take this racing line successfully because they're so lightweight and aero-dependent. Keeping a higher minimum speed allows for more downforce, which in turn results in more grip, making turning through the corner easier. So this approach is the fastest way for an F1 car to get through these corners. But now let's see why this does not apply for heavier, less aerodynamic cars. When our GT3 car comes to turn 12, following the F1 line, it comes in wide from the outside and the car has to slow down all the way while turning slightly. This is a very slow way to reduce your speed. It puts more weight on the outside tires, heating them up, which causes them to lose grip. And that loss of grip translates into even slower braking. Coming into turn 13, the F1 line works great as we just want to optimize our entry into the next corner. When we come to T14, sticking to the inside makes the car slow throughout the whole corner. You can't really accelerate until you're in the braking zone of T15, and that's a tad bit too late. Again, this constant turning causes the outside tires to heat up and lose even more grip, making the car understeer, slowing you down while also shortening the lifespan of your outside tires. So how can we fix this? We can use something called the V-line technique. To put it simply, we want to turn in early and brake in a straight line so that we have more grip to help the car with slowing down. We brake deep into the corner, then rotate the car and aim for the exit. This way we'll also have a straighter exit, which means more of our tire's grip can be used for accelerating. This approach is often faster for heavier GT cars than sticking to wide and sweeping F1 lines. It also prevents our tires from overheating, giving them more grip and a longer lifespan. So today we've learned that you gotta be mindful about what car types you're driving when choosing your racing lines. How Formula 1 drivers approach a track is not necessarily the best way for every car that you're driving. Learn more about V-line technique in this video right here. Subscribe for more tutorials like this one and check out the Track Titan platform in the description down below.